morning. I'm a bit early, just checking the space. It's a beautiful day there here. I really hope it is there for you too. It makes such a difference, doesn't it, when you can get outside. So, what you're going to need for today's class, just while we're settling in, you're going to need your mat, this way round, horizontal. Going to need maybe a blanket and a block, so a yoga block or a book or a rolled up towel or a rolled up blanket, something like that. And I'm just going to put myself down here for a moment and sit and ground. I've had this, I thought it was genius. It's actually not that clever, but what I struggled with was the times for these videos. So I didn't know how long it was taking, realised there was a little gap there. We've got this fantastic star clock here, help me keep on track with time. So I'm a few minutes a little bit early here actually. So for those of you that are maybe there already, if you're watching this again, I'm just waiting until 10 o'clock your time. It's 11 o'clock my time. It's actually gone really quiet here in Molinat where I am. We've all of a sudden in Croatia gone from, just a few cases to somebody at the airport, which is very near to where we are, has got the virus, and all of a sudden it's just spreading. But I know it must be really hard to make sense of what's going on at the moment. This is when it's kind of a test of our resilience, isn't it, and our resolve. It's a test of everything that we do on the mat, which is to kind of accept where we are. This is what's happening at the moment. There's some kind of comfort in that, I think, when we do that, when we go to ground. This is why I just think grounding is so important at the moment. It's kind of all we can do. Is I think we're going back to the earth, aren't we? We're going back to nature, and we are being tested to see how well we can deal with this. Whatever is happening, the only thing we've got control over is ourselves and how we respond. For those of you, I know some of you have already gone on to the nurture course. I'm adding bit by bit, and it's free for people. You can donate if you like. I've had some really nice generous donations, which has helped me, of course, just keep doing this, and it's made me want to do this more and more, just help people manage better what's going on around. So today we're nearly time. We've got another minute. Yeah, if you've not got the nurture course yet, it is free. I'm going to be launching another course for to continue on Saturdays, and I just can't quite get in my head what it's called. I know what it is, and it's all about. It might just be purely wild yoga, but it's going to be just based on, I think, everything that we need at the moment, which, in the way I see it, is what we need at the moment. We need to go back to nature, where everything makes sense, and we can maintain our balance. We can plug into that infinite battery source that is the earth, and I think we can come into our bodies as well and just really tune in to what's going on internally, and learn how to best take care of ourselves. So today, that's kind of going to be my focus for the day. So we've done the 5 elements. We've done earth, water, fire, air, and space. And this week 6 is about balancing the elements. And even though I'm going to give you the kind of full sequence, really what's important about balancing the elements is recognizing which element perhaps we're weak in at any one point in time, and sometimes nature will give us those answers. I know that I'm drawn to water. That's maybe I need to connect with my emotions a little bit more, go with the flow a little bit more. I put my blue trousers on today. That's a sign that sometimes I wear the colour that's like the element that I need. So we've got earth would be, you know, fire, a sort of browny, reddy colour, that kind of deep earthy colour. Water, obviously, sort of bluey colour. Fire, this would actually be a yellow colour, solar plexus. Air, more of a kind of green colour, heart chakra. And space, it's kind of a very clear pale blue or just white colour. So the colours that you're drawn to can tell you a little bit about the element that you're weak in. And what we can also do is we can take a practice like you do today. So of course you're keeping this video, you can use it as many times as you like, but you can take a practice like today and it can be the same sequence that I'm teaching you, and you maybe approach it in a different way according to which element that you want to draw in. And I'm going to try and keep them balanced but I might be given some of my, say, watery energy today. But I'm going to invite you to, we're going to connect just into our bodies and just invite you just to see which element you might be drawn to focus in on today. And there might not be any of them. You might just want to think, right, I'm just going to balance them today, but there might be some area. Say for instance, if you're feeling ungrounded, you might want to think, right, I'm going to concentrate on the earthy element, I'm going to concentrate on feet, that water element. You know, if you've been feeling a bit sluggish and you've been feeling a bit stuck in your ways, or and you know that you just need to, you know, go with the flow a bit more. You know, you work with the water element, you make your practice a little bit more flowy. Go for the freedom in the movement. If you're working, feeling low in fire energy, so that might be that you're unmotivated, lacking that sort of, you know, passion, that drive, and you know, you want to get on with stuff. Then you might want to really focus on the fire element, focus on the breath being more fierce, maybe just taking, you know, a little bit more effort into the poses. Working with air, still you want to focus on breath, opening up this space across here. And this actually, air element, is going to be really useful for us right now to open up the lungs. In Nurture, I've got a class on there. In fact, it's on YouTube, you can watch that there. Smile from your armpits, it's going to be really useful. Kind of lightens up the whole thing as well. So you might want to think of air element, smile from your armpits. Space might be, you know, connecting to the stars and thinking about all that infinite potential out there. So if you're thinking it's making sense, go to the space element. Go to nothingness first and see what happens. So let's take our places on our mat and let's cross the legs. So I think that was 5 minutes in. I'll let you know if you want to skip the intro next time. So taking your places, you know, so have a nearby. We're actually going to start by lying down like we did in week 1 in the earth element. And you're going to want to have your block handy just next to you on the mat. We're going to lie down but with the feet flat, so you're in constructive rest. So you're going to lie down. I'm just going to come close to speak to you. You're going to be laying down flat. Feet flat, so the knees are bent. The feet, you know, a comfortable distance away from the bottom. The palms, you take them facing upwards from there for now. Just the arms just slightly away from the body. Maybe just have a wriggle around with your bottom, wriggle around to your shoulders, and you know, allow yourself to really settle. Thinking, you know, you can even imagine, say you're going to the beach and you're lying down in sand, and you want to get really comfy. You don't want to feel like you're holding anything at the moment, but just allowing the body to rest. And just closing the eyes now. And noticing the earth beneath you. Notice all the points where your body connects with the earth. And feel this sense of rooted into the earth. Maybe you can picture or imagine in your mind's eye the layers of the earth beneath you, the earth's center and its magnetic pull just drawing you down into the earth. You may even imagine that you're in sand and you're just slightly sinking down into that sand, not without control. It's just a really nice kind of arriving in the sand. So you're getting this nice, warm, nourishing hug from Mother Earth. And that you know that the Earth's always there to support us. So you're safe here. You can let go now. So that for the next hour you can just purely enjoy this time for you. Letting go of all that's been and all that's to come. And just being present. Breathing in, coming into my body. Breathing out, I am home. You can repeat these words if they resonate with you. Breathing in, coming into my body. Breathing out, I am home. Breathing in, coming into my body. Breathing out, I am home. And just imagine your body now, part of the earth beneath you. Another place that you can call home. That you can go to if the world seems like it's gone mad around you. Come into your body and know that everything's in perfect working order. Trust the earth, trust your body to feel safe wherever you are. And if you've got an intention for your practice, you've got one of the elements that you're going to focus on, or just something for you that you want to be a focus for your practice, then just make a mental note of that now. And also make a mental note that above all else to take care of your body, especially your spine. And the part of you, that instinctive part of you that knows what's right for you. So we're just going to start to move slowly. Just having a little wriggle to start with. Finding that comfortable place again. You're going to take your block and you're going to place it in between the knees. So you want something that's wide enough. So if you've got one of those yoga blocks, you want it at the second longest edge, and place it in between the knees so that the thighs are parallel. And we're just going to start to wake up the spine nice and slowly and gently. So our inhale, we're just relaxing the belly. Take the palms so they're facing down, and as you exhale, you're going to iron out that lower back curve so the pelvis slightly tips up towards the sky. And as you do that, press down into the feet. That should happen automatically. So as you inhale, just relax the belly. That arch comes back in the spine, natural arch. As you exhale, draw the navel down into the earth. And notice the pelvis just tip up. Move as slowly and as mindfully as you can. Imagine breathing space, air, water, liquid into the spine. The breath as slow as you can, the breath synchronized with the movement. Channeling the energy of the earth, it's slow, it's controlled. And on the next one, you're going to squeeze the block. You're going to start to lift the hips and press down into the feet. And we're just going to stay there for a few breaths. So this is going to be a little effort, but what we don't want is strain or gripping. So use the feet, press the feet down into the earth. Feel yourself ground down through these 3 anchor points in the foot, base of the big toe, base of the little toe, center of the heel. So press down into those points, lifting up the hips, and breathe. Expanding the lungs. There's a little effort involved here. We're just going a little further, strengthening the back. Now let's take one more breath in as you lift off the hips. And then as you breathe out, you're going to tighten the back, like lower the hips down. You're going to take the block out from between the knees and just lay there for a moment, allowing that natural curve to come back in the spine. It's very subtle, this, and often, if we're, and I was like this, alpha types, busy, it's hard for us to slow down, but that's exactly what we need. Slow, controlled, accepting where we are right here, right now. Tuning into our body's whispers. Now you're going to slowly start to bring the knees to the chest and give yourself a hug. Now as you inhale, slightly press the knees into the hands to straighten, and as you exhale, draw the knees into the chest. Give yourself a squeeze. One of the advantages to doing this at home is, so this is a wind releasing posture, so a lot of people, let out a little fart when they do this, and that's fine. So it's good for me though to not be there in the class, because I just can't help but laugh. I meant to ignore it as a teacher, but I don't. I can't help laugh, but I think it lightens it all up. It's just natural. We all do it, don't we? So take one more and just give yourself a squeeze. Bring the head up towards the knees and have a rock and a roll. Okay, now plant the feet down. We're going to windscreen wiper the legs. So remember, we're moving those 3 directions with the spine. We're going to go for our twist next. So the feet are going to be a little wider than hip width apart. So just your little pinky toes are off the mat. Your feet are turned out. So you can imagine the legs are like windscreen wipers. The palms are facing upwards, the arms straight out to the side. You're going to inhale to start, and then as you exhale, drop the knees down to the right as the head turns to the left. So it's a whole body twist, nice and gentle, because we're still warming up. Hopefully this feels delicious. Right, and that's what we're going for. Remember that. You're not seeking the pose, you're seeking the sensation. Follow your bliss. Follow what feels good. You've got it right in yoga when your body's kind of going, yes, that's what I needed. Not, fantastic, I've gone and achieved that. I can post that pose on Instagram. It's not what it's about. Okay, now bring in, after the last time with the knees to the left, come center, and then we're going to just take the legs out straight. Going to bring the arms up above the head. Going to take hold of the left wrist with the right arm. I'm going to start to show this one. Left wrist with the right hand, and you're just going to draw the left arm over towards the right, draw the feet over towards the right, so that you're making a banana shape. Everything's still like lay down, but just enjoy that. So this is the side stretch, actually good for we're working with the 3 directions of the spine, which is what you've been learning over the weeks. But also these side stretches are really good for spring, so liver, gallbladder channel in spring. Now let's go over to the other side. So take hold of the right wrist with the left hand and just draw that arm across to the left. Draw the feet over to the left and enjoy that delicious side stretch. It's called banana asana, this one. I think that's the first time I've ever got that right. I'm never quite sure how many anas are in it. You know, it's one of those. Banana asana. I think that's right. Always just makes me think of Bananarama. I know a lot of you like the same era as me. I'm your Venus, I'm your fire, your desire. Okay, focus. Banana asana. Now stretching. Full body stretch and bring the knees to the chest. We're going to rock and roll up to seated. So if it's more comfortable for you, just roll onto your side to come up. If not, just have a rock and a roll. So ironing out all the creases in the spine, get space between the vertebrae, give it a little bit of oomph, waking everything up. We're going to come all the way to seated, and then you're going to swing the legs around, and we're going to come to a low squat. So we're going to take the knees out to the side. We're going to have the fingertips down. This is joyous. I can take my jumper off. Yes. Okay, so we're on the fingertips. I'm just going to push the knees forward one at a time. This is good for elimination. A test. So I've been writing this lighten up course at the moment, and in Ayurveda, they say that every morning you should empty your bowels, and that's a good sign as to whether everything is working well. But if your bowels don't empty, do this one first thing in the morning. I'm going to try and get through a yoga class one day without talking about bowels and elimination. So we're finding freedom of movement now. We're moving into the sacrum. So with our water element, we're moving up the body. Earth is right down at our root. We're moving up towards the sacrum. So this is all about, it's our centre of pleasure, freedom, joy, sexuality, sensuality, and creativity. So it's more going with the flow. So start to feel that the body changes from that sort of real earthiness that we had. And sense the difference between the water element. We're trying to free up. We get really sticky around sacroiliac joint. It's kind of, so I was going to show you where that is. So it's basically where the sacrum right down the base of the spine connects into the hip there. That can be really sticky. So if you've had back problems, this is a very common thing to have. Sticky SI joint. Sticky being the technical word. Okay, we're going to take the feet a little wider. We're going to start to lift up. So you want to ground your feet. And as you find your feet, we want to find those 3 anchor points. Base of the big toe, base of the little toe, center of the heel. Find that freedom of movement again. So just drop the head and just kind of wave side to side with the upper body. Water, freedom of movement. And maybe you just want to dangle the head and imagine, you've got this big kind of slit on the top of the head. Just open it up and just let all that clutter just fall out the top of the head. Swinging the hips side to side. Start to lift the head down, bring the hands together at the heart center. And then we're going to start to swim the dragon. Do you remember this? It's like a figure of 8, but on its side. So you're guided by the fingertips, but the body being a plant. Everything responds to this. You'll find those natural anatomical spirals in the body. I'm interested to know if you found this swimming dragon sequence useful. I absolutely love it for my spine. When I need to be gentle with my spine, I go to fluid. So a great thing to do is to be in water if you're suffering from a bad back, and because you're supported, but you can still find that freedom of movement. We want to add the water into the body. Our bones came from the ocean. So, we can go to the ocean to heal them. So start to lift up, and then just make sure that your feet are in the right place as well. Find that freedom of movement. Make it as big or as small as you feel like. So, if you're low energy, just keep it really gentle and slow and focus on the breath and just that enjoyment, that sensual experience. If you're feeling, you want to build a little bit more fire, you need that more energy, just make it big. Okay, still think of freedom of movement, of freeing up space in the body rather than thinking, I need to get to there. And then we're going to start to swim the dragon up towards the surface, so up towards the sky. Swimming the dragon up. Still shifting the weight from side to side. You're probably going to feel you're building a little bit of heat in the body there. And then keep going. But start to slow it down. To take the hands so they're about chest height in line with the heart. Slowing it right down till you come to a stop with the hands to the heart. And let's step the feet together. Let's take a few breaths here just to center yourself before we do the full swimming dragon sequence. So always go to the breath as the bridge between the body and the mind. It can always bring us back in a moment. You might want to take a few deep breaths out. As you open the mouth, just letting go. Feel yourself let go of anything that's not joyful. You don't need to think about what that is, just the body will do it for you. Now, rooting down in, find your anchor points through the feet. Stand up tall. And just open. We go to our swimming dragon sequence. So we're going to bring the hands to the heart center. Now you're going to bend the knees. We're going to take the hands just alongside the right ear. Just tip that head to the side. So remember, it's like the spine's like a corkscrew. Should be nice and warm now. So be super mindful with this. Try and just enjoy it. So we bend the knees. The left shoulder, the left hip comes forward as the hands come around behind you and you look over the left shoulder. Now we're going to sweep the arms around in front, about this height of your heart. So right hand presses into left hand. The hips change direction, right hip, shoulder forward. Head to the right, but the hands to the left, so you've got that nice, delicious triple twist in the spine. Now press the left hand into the right hand to switch sides. So the elbow bent on that one, and then we start to swim the dragon. So the hands come across in front of solar plexus, a little lower down. The hips swing round to the other side. The hands sweep down, sacral level, so a little lower to the right. You swim across solar plexus level, and then you sweep the hands, left hand into the right, to come back to your sleeping dragon. And the arms sweep up above the head. We'll lift up the heels, keep the shoulders down. Hug the thighs towards each other. Tighten up at the ankles. Hold here for a few breaths. See if you can just focus on a place on the floor in front of you, and then bring the hands down to the heart center. Feel the calm within, and then lower down the heels. Taking a pause here for a moment just to let the body process what it's done. And let's do the left side. So the hands over to the left ear. Bend the knees. The thighs are together. The right hip, the right shoulder come forward as you bring the hands back. Channel your inner geisha. The right shoulder. Nice deep twist. Now sweep the arms around. Whoosh. Changing sides. So this swimming dragon, so think about what a dragon does in water. This undulating, spiraling action. It's got freedom and movement. You're supported by the water. Sweep the arms round in front of solar plexus now, left to right. A little bit lower. Whoosh. You imagine the hands going through water. Imagine there's a resistance there. Solar plexus. Right hand into left hand. Switching over to the left ear, right shoulder, right hip forward. Find that deep twist again. Now lift the arms up above the head. Sweep them up. Hug the thighs, tighten up the ankles, lift up the heels. Focus, keep breathing. Stay strong yet relaxed. Active body, steady mind. Bring the hands down to the heart, keeping the heels lifted. Find that point of balance. And then slowly, slowly lower the heels down. Taking a few moments here. Lifting the heart up onto the hands, relaxing the shoulders. Allow the shoulder blades just to glide down the back. Imagine just like dropping them in the back pockets of your jeans. Feel tall and strong, yet calm and relaxed and with freedom of movement. So even though you're just standing steady right now, there's still movement because you're breathing. Good, now open your eyes, give everything a shake out. Whew. Fire energy. So, we're perking right up. What you might want to do is bring your mat. I'm going to keep mine the same because I'm going to be showing you from the side, but bring your mat so it's the other way around, so long ways round. So, I'm going to teach on this side. You're going to stand right at the top of the mat because we're going to be stepping back, so you want it that long way around. So build a little bit of fire energy. Sun salutations. So we're going to bring the big toes together and allow the heels, there's just going to be a little gap at the back of the heels. We're going to hug the thighs, the same position that you ended in after the swimming dragon. Your body's going to be really soft and malleable now. We've had earth, we've had water, we're going to heat it all up a little bit. So hands together at the heart. We're going to take a big yawning breath. We're going to lift the palms up towards the sky. At the same time, lift the heart towards the sky. Bring the hands together above the head. Now, as you exhale, bend the knees. Look over the right shoulder and press the arms down to shoulder height. Open wingspan. Inhale. Bring the hands together. Above the head, look forward. Exhale. Look over the left shoulder. And press the arms down. Now, inhale. Bring the hands together. Head, and exhale, bring the hands down through the midline of the body. So we're going to do this sequence once through. You can always repeat it again and again, you know, for a bit more of a longer fire practice. But we're going to step the right leg back and let's step the left leg back. Okay, so you may want the knees down from here in a half plank if you're really taking care of the back, or if you know you're strong enough for a full plank. We're just going to walk through the feet. That's going to build a little bit of fire. Walk in the plank. So just watch what's happening around so your stable base and frame is through the hands and the shoulders. So you've got that front. So just make sure the chest's not sinking down, but rather push the earth away from you. That's going to keep everything tight and lifted. So walk through the feet. Now we're going to drop the knees down, the toes are top. We're going to lift the tailbone. We're going to sit back onto the heels. And we're just going to bounce and press a little bit here. Our crouching tiger. I'm interested to know if anyone's trying out those primal movements out in nature. I think that was from the fire sequence. So sitting back. Now we're going to float the body forwards so the shoulders are over the wrists. We're going to press the toes down into the mat. We're going to see if we can bring our chest down in between the hands. We're going to hug the elbows in to the waist. See if you can just tip the bottom up. Bring the chest down first. Elbows in and the chin comes down. See if you can, if you've come all the way down flat, just lift up the bottom and see if you can find that little arch. Good, now press the hips down into the earth, push down into the hands, draw the shoulders back, press down into the toes, elbows in, just a little baby cobra. Let's just have a little look around. So keep it gentle. Nothing too harsh in your baby cobra. Okay, so the hips are connected. You see people doing this in class, that's not Cobra, it's like something completely different. Ego-led. Here is enough. Now we're going to roll down onto the front. Now you're going to bring the elbows underneath the shoulders so you're on your forearms. You may remember this Sphinx from the fire sequence. So you inhale, the crown of the head lifts, and as you exhale, you draw the navel on towards the spine. You push the forearms and push down into the toes. So the hips draw up and the back slightly rounds there. Okay, building fire in the belly. Inhale, hips drop, head lifts. Exhale, press down into the hands and round. Now you can stay at that level, or if you want to go a little further for these last three, you can lift off the knees and round. Breathing out and really stoking that fire in the belly. If you feel that in the spine at all, any discomfort in the back, just have the knees down. Breathing out. Breathing in. What are we on? 4, 5? Do a couple more. Doesn't really matter. Okay. And down. Good. Now, after this last one, we're going to take a little rest. We're going to make a pillow for the forehead. Take the elbows out towards the side. And then bring the legs up in the air and just make circles with the lower legs. But let the hips just rock side to side. So don't think of isolating when you're doing your movement. The body works as a whole. Just let the body nicely relax there. So remember, we don't want too much fire. Too much fire, you burn out. And just enough. Now go in the other direction with the legs. And let them settle. Just bring the feet down, let the heels fall apart. And just take a few breaths there with the head down. As you breathe into the belly and feel the belly inflate and press down into the earth. Drawing the energy from Mother Earth to ground you again, the fire and the earth combining. Take 3 more. You might want to open the mouth and just really let go of anything that you've just burnt through there. Big transformative energy. Okay, now bring the hands underneath the shoulders. Push down into the hands and lift up the hips just to draw yourself up back to the half plank. We're going to tuck the toes, sit back to your crouching tiger. We're going to come up slowly from crouching tiger. So, you know, if you're going to yoga classes at all, you see people just go like straight up into down dog, legs straight, backs rounded. You know this way to do it. You sit back onto the walls of the heels, so you push down into the hands, the tailbone lifts, so you see you keep the spine extended. Now drop the head and keep walking through the feet. There still might be tightness in the legs and the back of the calves. Shake out the head. Make sure the hands are spread apart, and most importantly, keep breathing and keep smiling. So now down. Your option is just a poppy dog from here, but we're going to take a few breaths, like 5 long breaths. Option is the knees lifted. We're going to let the heart melting down towards the earth, and the armpits. Big smiles from the armpits. There's the space you want to be open. Things like that, smiling from the armpits, is going to put you in the right place. Now, either from all fours or from your down dog, you're going to lift the right leg up in the air. Give it a shake out, like fire up some energy in that leg. Shake it out. Shake, 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 shake. Now bring the knee underneath you, drawing the belly in like you did in your Sphinx. The foot between the hands. Now if it hasn't quite made it, but you did it slowly, that's fine. It's good. aim is not to get the foot between the hands, you just help it through you. The aim is to control everything all the way through. So you got the fingertips either foot, straight line from ankle to knee on the right side. You're going to bring the hands up onto that right thigh. Left arm is drop down. You're going to sweep it up in the air. And with the right hand, you're almost like pushing the thigh away from you. That's going to create this leverage to lift the left arm up and over. So we want like this big arc of a movement. I'm going to show you from the side. Literally, it's not just the hip coming forward and that arm going up. Everything's connected from the big toe on that left foot, front of the shin, front of that left thigh, all the way up the front of the body. So you've got the heart lifts towards the sky, the left hip comes forward, and you slightly need to hug the thighs towards each other just to keep you stabilized. That just by hugging the thighs towards each other, you activate the deep core muscles. So, and this is so as a deep core muscle. Good. Now bring the left elbow to meet the right hand. It's going to come across the body for a twist. So that left sinking forward. You bring the hands together. They're going to be about at the right armpit. Now push the left hand into the right. Leverage. Sorry, the right hand into the left. It's going to leverage the chest to spiral around. You look around over the right shoulder. Delicious for spring. Happy spring equinox, by the way. How exciting is that? Spring equinox. Awesome. Seeing it all come out in nature. Nature holds the answers at times like these, you know, or when we need extra healing. Go to nature to heal you. It's the greatest lesson I ever learned in well-being. Nature heals us. Okay, now from here, you're going to bring this right leg back. We're going to have a little rest in child's pose. So right knee back towards the left knee. You might want to open out the knees to nestle the belly down between the thighs, but just make sure, bring the head down towards the mat. And enjoy that. Enjoy it, remembering that life is a balance between rest and movement. So whenever you do something that's intense, balance it out. And a great technique just while you're there to, this is a check-in, like a rest in Shavasana, or when we're on the front before. This is a check-in to see how much energy you've expended, how much energy you've got left. How you'd put this into your daily life would be to have a check-in at some point in the day. Let's see, how's my day been so far? If you had a stressful day and it gets to 2 o'clock, either have a really long siesta or rethink what you're doing for the rest of the day. Always think about, how do I best balance my energy levels? Your energy is everything. Okay, so coming back to sit onto the heels, our crouching tiger. We're going to go from either a down dog or a puppy dog again. So go through the steps slowly. You sit back onto the heels. You spread out your, I want you to say paws then, kind of like paws. Spread out your hands. Anchor down into the earth, tailbone lifts. Just walk through the feet. Fine. With this. So as you're moving here, breathe and find your voice. Now lift the left leg up into the air, so either from all fours or from a down dog, depending on how you're feeling and where you are today. It's all good. Lift the left leg up in the air, give it a good old shake. Activate all the energy. Shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it. Now, super slow. The great thing to practice for your fire energy is this step through. You bring the knee underneath you. Now, instead of swinging it, you control. So you tighten the belly, you draw the belly in towards the spine, you control. You lift right up onto that back toe and you step the foot through. So if you don't quite make it, don't worry, it can take years to get that. So it's just something to work on. Take hold of the ankle, bring that foot through. You know, if you are setting yourself a challenge, just be really gentle with yourself, because you don't want to push too hard or get frustrated. It won't happen. You just want to think, this is where I am, and I'm accepting where I am. It's okay to ask for more, but also accept where you are. Now, coming up into your lunge. So what was psoas muscle? It's that muscle that gets stressed. We're going to take the left hand on the left thigh. As if pushing that thigh forward, the right hip comes forward, as well the back toes are flat, and bring the right arm up without lifting up the shoulder. Now, lift and open from there. Reaching up with that arm. Think of spaciousness, but also think of that whole front line from the toenails on the right foot, up the shin, up past the right knee, the right thigh, all the way up, shoulder, inside of the arm, palm, right to your little pinky on the right side. So it's a whole line. You're not thinking of stretching the muscles. It's superficial front line, I think this one is. Whole front line. Now start to bring that arm across the body, the elbow towards the outside of your left thigh. You're going to bring the left palm onto the right palm. Continue sinking in that lunge. You're having to stabilize quite hard though, hugging the thighs towards each other. Now if you push the left hand into the right hand here, you'll notice that kind of lifts and it leverages the chest to open. When you think of opening the chest, don't go too far. Make sure, if you can't smile in a pose, you're going too hard, you just put the body into stress. So just make sure you can smile. I think people miss that bit in yoga. I see people getting stressed in yoga. I'm thinking, this is missing the point. This is missing the point. A little bit of challenge, a little bit of long, smooth breaths. So you may have lost me for a moment there with the connection, but we were just resting in child's pose, so that's absolutely fine. I think the universe provided what was needed there, a little rest in child's pose. Hopefully you're feeling pretty good now. We're going to come up to sit onto the heels. We're going to swing the legs around in front, and we're going to go to laying down onto the back with your block really close by. So this sequence, and I put it into lots of the courses, lots of the classes, and there's a reason for that. It's just pure magic. Okay, so it works so well for our spines and for the areas of the body that are tight on the modern body. Again, the connection went there. You didn't miss anything. I just kept it. We were doing. So you've got your block underneath your sacrum. Feet flat. You're going to bring the right knee in towards the chest and extend the left leg out along the mat. Now we're going to explore a little bit further. I'm going to go further today since it's the last one. When I say further, you're not going to push it. Explore. I'm going to try and get to 5. So it's not a bite. Some people call it the biting point. So if you think of the biting point when you're driving, we've got that. So biting point for this move here, but I call it a nibble, right? So you don't want it to be like a harsh bite. It's more like you're seeking out that little nibble. So with the right knee in towards the chest, just hugging it gently, right deep down into the right hip. We're seeking out just that little nibble. Now, if you don't feel it, and it is going to be very subtle, just going to take the right knee a little bit over the right shoulder. Again, you might find that little nibble there. Make sure the shoulders are relaxed, the face, the jaw, the neck, everything's relaxed. The pose is doing this all for you, and I can't stress enough how important this pose is for maintaining a healthy spine, but also for helping release stress from the body. If you've ever experienced that like little tremor at the for your breath control after our more intense active phase kind of get like distracted you, and this is your mindfulness practice. Let's release the right foot down and release both legs straight out, and just take a moment to compare the sides. As we're going to do the same side, drawing the left knee into the chest. Now extend the right leg out along the mat. Just let that leg go floppy, that right leg. It's not involved. Don't keep it active, just relax. The head is relaxed, the neck and the shoulders down. That basket with the hands wrapping around the front of the knee, just let the knee rest there. And let's go looking for that nibble. What can happen sometimes when we work with this psoas muscle, which and a chronically contracted psoas muscle can lead to not only back problems, but a feeling that we're constantly stressed. So if you feel like you alert, constant anxiety, can be because of the psoas muscle contracted during a period of stress, and it stayed contracted. So this is so important for our physical and our mental health. We can release the psoas, we can start to release all that stored stress from the body. Free the body. That's what this was all about, this course, and I'm really hoping that you've started to fits. Now if you're not feeling that little nibble yet, just take the left knee, left shoulder. And it's going to be really subtle. It's just going to be a little sensation. It's deep down. So I think of working with the psoas muscle. You can't see it. People have been doing exercise to create a body that looks a certain way. Actually, it's what's going on deep down inside that has more effect. This is why a lot of people will still be really fit physically. Just not healthy. Take a couple more breaths. Just allow the body to really let go on the out breath. And then slowly bring that left foot down to the ground, extend it out along the mat. And it can be difficult here, but we're going to try just to let the body completely surrender over the block. Make sure place for this one especially, so you want it right down towards the bottom, not in the small of the back, not in the arch of the back, where the sacrum is flat against the block. You can take the arms out to the side. Just let go. The more that we can let go, physically, mentally, the more the body's going to work for us. We stay this way when we hold on to stress. Body thinks, oh, high alert, must be needed to run away from an animal. It's not the time it's going to process anything. You can only process when you're relaxed. Now you're going to carefully just bring the heels up towards the bottom now. Press down into the feet, lift off the hips. Slide the block down beneath you. And then slowly, 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 just start to peel the spine down onto the mat. And just try and relax. That curve, that natural curve, come back in the spine. Just stay there for a few minutes. Remember, the magic happens in the space. That space between asanas you don't need to fill up all the time. You have space where there's nothingness. Maybe you can see that nothingness in the gap between the and the mat. There's lots of magic in that space. And now really gently, really slowly start to bring the knees into the chest. Start to give yourself a hug. Rock the knees side to side. Massaging the lower back in whatever way feels nice for you. You've been following this course, nearly six weeks now. You should be, I imagine you'll be starting to tune into the body and what it's saying, starting to move in a way that feels good for you, starting to develop your own way of doing things and working with your body. Let's bring the feet down to the earth now. Take the arms out to the side. Take an inhale to begin. And as you exhale, drop the knees down to the right. As you take the head to the left, you can open the knees wide. You can keep the knees together. Do what feels right for you. Your body is going to tell you where it needs to be, what kind of twist you need. Just make sure the shoulder blades are flat and relaxed, the head's relaxed. Can be turned to the left if that feels nice, or just straight up if you prefer. And take 3 deep breaths, whether you open the mouth and you just go and then slowly bringing the knees back through center, drop them down to the right. As you take the head to the left and find your twist, and whatever works for you. You can even have the eyes closed now as you start to just go a bit more introspective. noticing what's going on in the inside. Feel free to fidget. And feel that sense of, as you breathe out, that just letting go and releasing. Maybe even opening the mouth and taking a big relaxing sigh. Breathing out all that stuff that you've just mobilized and the body wants to get rid of, and the carbon dioxide, just breathe it all out. It's the most natural thing in the world, breathing in the freshness, breathing out the bullshit, breathing in the spring, breathing out the winter, breathing in new energy, breathing out all the old debris. Nature has everything that you need. Now slowly bring the knees back through the center. You might want to hug the knees to the chest. Now you might want to take the legs up in the air and give them a shake out. You might want to take a happy baby, which is, yeah, I shouldn't do that facing you. I'll lay down my side. Happy baby, legs up in the air, like hold outside of the feet, and then you draw the knees kind of down into the armpits. You can rock and roll around in a happy baby. You can have the feet together. You can have legs higher up. You can side, whatever feels good. So, very primal, just taking us back to how we were, when we were first born. That's what yoga is, taking us back to our natural state. So where do we find the answers? Nature. Nature. Go into nature and let it heal you. So when you're ready, lay down flat on your mat. I'm going to have a few minutes just for the most important part of your practice. If you can prefer and you want to do a longer shavasana, longer relaxation, one of the pieces of music that I've recommended, Weightless, is a great one by Marconi Union. If you want a longer shavasana, you can pause the film. If not, lay down flat. Have a good shimmy. Shimmy everything on the mat. Mat dancing. I'm not just getting you to shimmy because it's fun, so there's a bit of method to my madness. Moves all that last stock and the debris out of the fascia. Imagine you're in sand and you're going to go nestle down into it. If sand works for you, could be just a nice soft mattress, like a memory foam mattress. You can just, your body's going to go really heavy, but it's supported. It's heavy but light. There's the balance. It's strong, it's steady, but it's got freedom of movement. It's got fluidity. You've got enough fire in your belly to get everything you need to get done, but not too much. Just a glow about you. The air that you're breathing in, because the channels are able to feed all the parts of your body with clean, fresh oxygen and nutrients. And you've got all this space that you didn't have before, and it's infinite, the space. Know that with every practice you create more space. With that more space, there's more potential for magic to appear. But with the space, you're also better able to deal with whatever life throws at you. But just know you're in a good place now. This place is always available to you. So enjoy this feeling now of the body knows exactly what to do. You can just let go and trust it. You just rest. Just breathe. Just let go. All is well. All is well. All is well. And maybe you can hear in the background the sound of the water. And you can imagine your bones in water. They're supported, where they're being nourished by all the sea minerals. They're strong, but the body is flexible. It's in perfect balance, in harmony with nature. And if that feels good, then take the tip of the thumb, tip of the forefinger together, and just press gently, just to anchor in that feeling. And maybe feel the heat in the palms. Just notice, just be in witness mode. Notice how you feel. Notice this place that's available to you. When you give yourself space and time to go and access it, know it's the most important thing that you can do, especially in these times. Keep the vibrational frequency high. You can affect those around you, and you're going to affect the healing of the planet. And just start to take some deeper breaths in. As you draw in fresh energy of spring, feel yourself expand out into it. Yawn and stretch. Springtime, winter's gone, every cloud and all that. Woohoo. And then when you're ready, bring the knees into the chest and give yourself a hug. Give yourself a well done for doing this practice today. It's not just for you, it's for everybody. When we do this practice, it's for everybody, it's for the world. We're going to stay in the light, stay in the love. And when you're ready, roll onto your side. You're going to carefully bring yourself up to seated. No hurry. No hurry. Adopt the pace of nature. Make time for balance. Maybe after today, consider how you might, maintain that balance between rest and movement, between stability and flexibility. And let's rub the palms together as fast as you can. Create as much heat as you can between the palms. To rub in a stick to light a fire. Then place the palms over the eyes. Just let the eyes be bathed in that warm, healing glow from the palms. We're going to start to take the palms away really slowly. Start to open out the fingers. As you do that, blink the eyes open. Spread out the fingers and see all the magic appear around you. Remind yourself today, all that is magic in nature are in the hands of the heart. And from my heart to your heart, namaste. Namaste. I'd like to thank you all for joining me in this course, and well done for investing in your self-care. I think this is what we need at the moment. I hope you stay safe, stay well. Give me any feedback, that'd be great as well. And thank you for joining me. Big love.